Friends, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, recently visited India. This tour had been planned for a long time but was postponed due to COVID pandemic. You must be probably wondering what's fresh about this news. Yes, we are certain that you might have already obtained all the information related to the issues linked to this tour. And we're not going to talk about the UK PM's visit here. Instead, we are going to ask an important question. Why are the world's power so interested in India? Even during the Russia-Ukraine conflict, both parties emphasize the importance of India's assistance. Whether it is the US, Russia, Japan, France, or ASEAN and multinational blocs like European Union, today everyone wants to be friends with India. We will try to understand the reasons behind this because there is a saying in international relations that whether it is friendship or enmity, both are not done without meaning. So let's get started on today's topic. Friends, we all are aware that India's popularity has increased internationally in recent years. However, India did not firmly live in isolation. From the beginning of time, the Indian subcontinent had maintained communication with the rest of the globe. And as time passes in Indian history, the country's ties with other countries appear to be strengthening. In 77 CE, the Roman writer Pliny claims that all of the world's gold arrived in India and sank. This signifies that India was the world's largest trading power at that time. Cotton, spices, ivory and diamonds were among the goods we used to export in exchange for gold and silver. This was the reason that our country was called the Golden Bird. Diplomatic connections had begun in addition to trade. From the beginning of the modern times, the procedure of accepting ambassadors from other countries has been underway. During the reign of Chandragupta Maurya, the Greek diplomat Megasthenes visited India. Later, Chinese ambassadors arrived in India and our ambassadors were dispatched to several nations. External assaults on India were one of the implications of country's growing prosperity. The beginning of a lengthy line of Muslim insertion from the West, even throughout the Middle Era, India maintained communication with the rest of the globe. By the 16th century, European enterprises had begun establishing themselves in India. Even Portugal complained in the 16th century that India was stealing the silver they obtained in South America because they had to pay in silver to acquire the spices, textiles, and other commodities here. Because England was also dealing with the problem of bullion in 17th century, the British Parliament reacted similarly. In this circumstance, the East India Company was given explicit orders by the Parliament to stimulate Indian interest in English goods in every manner possible, because India has never consumed British goods till that time. The flow of bullion switched direction in the 19th century because of the Industrial Revolution that had arrived in England. The market for Indian handlooms was shrinking rapidly compared to manufactured items. Then during the colonial period, Indian foreign policy is guided by British interest. This was the only moment in Indian history when the country's international prestige was not unique or remarkable. Yes, but what was the importance of India to Britain? It is understood from the fact that they fought from France to Russia to protect the Indian Empire. India was once again free to pursue its foreign policy after independence. Jawaharlal Nehru, India's Prime Minister, directed its foreign policy and relates it to principles and non-alignment such as Panchsheel. During this period, India becomes the voice of newly independent countries and the developing world. Many countries in Asia and Africa started seeing India as a leader. In the late 1940s, India backed Indonesia, which was fighting to end Dutch colonial domination. Similarly, India gave its unwavering support to the national movements of African countries. India gains a reputation as an anti-imperialist and pro-democracy force. As a result, India was managed to carve itself into a unique space in the global arena. Friends, this was a quick historical overview of India's position in international affairs. Let us now discuss the reasons why India's friendship has begun to attract people from all over the world. Now, not just the poor or underdeveloped globe seeks India's assistance, but so-called big powers do as well. Let's take a look at each of the reasons one by one. Every nation can have different reasons for being interested in India. They vary from strategic to economic interest. Yes, some universal factors draw people a lot. Today, we will look at few of these essential factors. The most significant factor in this today is India's demographic advantage. Friends, India has the world's largest youth population. The working age group, for example 15 to 59 years old, accounts for around 62.5% of India's population. You must be wondering why other countries might be interested in India's demographic advantage. It is because of this that India provides an appealing market to the rest of the world. For a long time, it was also seen as a source of cheap labor in the era of multinational corporations. After demographics, India's strategic position is the second most critical element. Being located in the center of Indian Ocean, India's connectivity is made with trade coming from the Mediterranean route on one side and the Pacific. The Indian Ocean is viewed as an essential developing region in international affairs. There is a strong economic and political logic behind this. About 80% of world's total maritime oil trade passes through three narrow passages of water located in Indian Ocean, also known as choke points. This includes the Strait of Hormuz, located between Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman, and the Strait of Malacca and Bab el-Mandeb. And because of its strategic location, India can monitor and regulate all three locations. The Indian Ocean is fast becoming a geopolitical battleground in terms of politics. China is investing hundreds of billions of dollars in infrastructure projects across this area as part of its One Belt, One Road strategy. Nations such as United States, Japan, France, and Australia regard this project as a threat, which is why they are all interested in forming strategic partnerships with India, whether it's Quad grouping or the various military exercises in this region, such as Malabar and Varuna. None of it would be possible without India. Due to the Chinese threat, the ASEAN members also wish to strengthen their ties with India because India provides support to them in the ongoing conflict in the South China Sea. Today, India's defense capabilities allow it to implement programs such as Sagar or Security and Growth for All. And the way US reacted in the recent crisis, ASEAN countries have realized that they can no longer rely solely on the US for their security. In such a situation, they see India as a security provider. The factor that can be highlighted after the geographical and strategic factor is the economic factor. According to World Economic League forecast, India will become the world's third largest economy by 2031, with a GDP of about $6.8 trillion. Not only that, but India has immense resource potential and the investment opportunities here are driving investors from all over the world. As announced in March 2022, Japan has set a goal of investing $42 billion in next 5 years. On the other hand, during his recent visit, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson offered commercial deals worth £1 billion. Similarly, India struck a $100 billion investment accord with the UAE in February 2022. This clearly shows that all of the world's leading economies are currently eager to invest in India. Friends, along with the economic, political factors also matters a lot. There are numerous such countries in the Middle East that can be considered wealthier than India based on their oil economy. Their friendship, however, can never be compared to India in terms of international ties. This is because the Middle East history and present are marked by political instability and conflict. In this regard, India's democratic credentials are strong. India has never witnessed military rule since independence. While the news of coups is common in the rest of Indian subcontinent, the whole world is now appraising the strength of Indian democracy. Free and fair elections as well as the belief in political stability make India a natural partner for the rest of democratic nations. Everyone talks about shared democratic values with India, whether it's France, the United States, or United Kingdom. Apart from that, foreign leaders' confidence in India has been enhanced due to current Indian leadership, namely Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his majority administration. PM Modi is currently regarded as one of the world's most powerful leaders. Undoubtedly, his bold commitments and abilities to lead in foreign policy have elevated India to a prominent position in international affairs. The diaspora, which is related to political factors, plays a vital role in shaping international relations. Indian diaspora can be called the most vibrant and dynamic community today. According to a UN report, the Indian diaspora is the world's largest diaspora, with a population of about 18 million. You are probably wondering, what is the connection between India's diaspora values and international affairs? So friends, let me tell you that there is a very deep relationship between the two. Any country's diaspora has the ability to influence the policy of resident country. There are several examples of this. The political influence of Indian diaspora may be shown in the fact that during the vote on the India-US nuclear deal, skeptical legislators were pushed to vote in favor of treaty. On the other hand, the extent to which the Indian diaspora impacts Canadian politics is well known. You might be surprised to know that over 200 individuals of Indian diaspora hold prominent positions in various nations today. Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, was recently added to this list. These individuals, ranging from top civil employees to cabinet members, hold the highest leadership roles, including Prime Minister and President. Antonio Costa, the Prime Minister of Portugal, Pravind Jugnauth, the Prime Minister of Mauritius, and Irfan Ali, the President of Guyana, are all of the Indian descent. The presence of Indians in such prominent positions suggests that these nations have strong links with India. Along with this, the rich cultural heritage of India also inspired many nations to take an interest in India. Its most important prominent example can be Southeast Asian nations. Since ancient times, they had significant cultural and religious links with India, and these ties are still an essential link between India and these countries. A similar factor is an Indian philosophy, which significantly impacts our foreign policy. We discuss the entire world's well-being, inspired by Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam's concept. Whether to advocate for developing an underdeveloped nation in international forums such as the World Trade Organization or to bring up the issue of equality at climate summit, India has always advocated for bringing everyone together. This is why the emerging countries of Africa, Latin America, and Asia look to India for friendship. At the same time, India provides development assistance to its neighboring nations, such as Nepal, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka, which is right now experiencing a crisis. Not only this, Rs 200 crore has been allocated to Afghanistan as a development aid in the budget for 2022-23, with a total of Rs 6,292 crore has been set aside for development aid in the coming fiscal year. With this aid, India will support African and Latin American countries in addition to India's neighbors. In addition, India is always prepared to assist a suffering nation, even in the midst of a crisis. India has always been at the forefront of disaster response, whether the Nepal earthquake or the Indonesian tsunami. Even during the COVID outbreak, India provided everything from masks to medical equipment to vaccinations to the countries in need. The fact that India has a human face adds to worth of his friendship. Other nations are confident that they can rely on India under challenging situations. Friends, these are all major factors due to which today, from the developing world to global powers, everyone wants to maintain strong ties with India. The Indian government is also taking many initiatives to raise the interest further and fulfill its demand. We may discuss this in terms of taking a proactive position in international forums such as BRICS or BIMSTEC or any other platforms, simultaneously establishing itself as a regional force confidently and prudently by establishing the Sagar Initiative or joining the Quad grouping. India's foreign policy is now more realistic and bold than ever. Apart from that, domestic policies are being crafted in such a way that India attracts the attention of global powers. Make in India, ease of doing business, foreign direct investment in defense, and activities in the space industry are all examples of this. However, there are several challenges to be aware of in this situation. We intend to emphasize that all countries desire India's friendship, but it is India's responsibility to fulfill it. Today, we observe that agreements and pacts regarding FDI are being made, but no FDI of that magnitude is received. Similarly, many international firms' projects meet hurdles as a result of red tape, which does not reflect well on India. Here we can also talk about the tax policy of India, especially in the cases like Vodafone's retrospective taxation. Also, when any development project conducted by India is delayed in a foreign country, India's reputation as a trusted partner is jeopardized, as seen in a recent project involving Iran's Chabahar port. As a result, the Indian government must guarantee that all policies and programs are carried out transparently, and those who have sought India's friendship should have their expectations met. Furthermore, balancing them is a difficult task in itself. So friends, in this video, we have discussed that why global powers want to be best friend of India. Apart from that, this video is relevant from the standpoint of UPSC exams and it might help you with GS2 international relations questions. Therefore, we will leave you with a question related to this topic, which you can answer in the comment section. And the question is, global powers are actively seeking partnership with India in present times. Critically analyze the factors responsible for this and also discuss the challenges. And with this question, my friends, that's it for the video. I hope you have liked the video, and if you have, don't forget to share it with your friends. We will meet in next video. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.